Hi, everyone, and good afternoon. Happy Monday to everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everyone had a nice weekend. Today, I am live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So I will be talking about a topic that I think would be very interesting to everyone. And if you have questions, feel free to write them in the comments as we go, and I will try to answer them as I see them. And today will be general information. So sometimes questions are very fact specific and I can't really talk to, a specific fact pattern, but I would love to answer them as much as I can in general. Okay, so the subject I wanted to talk about today, the topic of today, is a question that we get a lot in our office. And it's the question of, I am here in the US, I am married to a US citizen, or could be to a lawful permanent resident, to a green card holder, and I want to get my green card. However, I did not enter with a visa. So I entered illegally without permission. So in cases like that, the issue is that if you do not enter with a visa or with permission, you cannot file to adjust your status here in the US to a green card holder, because one of the requirements is that you have to show that you have a legal entry. So that causes problems for a lot of people because that came in without a visa because they do not have that legal entry to show. Now, the way that you can solve this problem if you're married to a US citizen is you can complete the process abroad. So you can leave the country and go apply for your green card at the country of your birth, the country that you're originally from, but that causes problems and it complicates a little bit the process, because once you leave the US, you trigger a 10-year bar to entry again back into the US. So the issue with that is that before you come in, you have to apply for a waiver. And we do this, applying for a waiver is something that's very common if you are married to a US citizen and you entered without a visa, and now you want to apply for your green card. There is a way to request a waiver in advance, a 601 waiver, and it's based on hardship to your spouse, on your U.S. citizen spouse, and you do that before you leave, and it's called we call a provisional waiver. And with this waiver, you can you can get a special permission to come back and forgive you for the 10-year bar. Now, today I want to talk about a way that you can get your green card here in the US without leaving, okay? Without leaving the US, without the need to get the special waiver, because a special waiver is discretionary. Okay, you have to show hardship and you have to show discretion. You have to prove that you are, worthy of it. But there is a way. Some people might qualify to get their green card here in the US. And this is based on Vawa Self-Petition. And you might have heard about that before. People ask us a lot about what's Vawa, what is this petition, does it apply to me? So a Vawa Self-Petition is an avenue or a way for a foreign national to self-petition themselves for a green card without having someone petition them. And there's some requirements for that. So to qualify for the VAWA, and VAWA stands for Violence Against Women's Act, but it's not only for women, it applies also to men. And to be eligible for this benefit, the benefit of applying for your green card for yourself and not having to leave the country to get it. Okay, because this sort of self-petition waives your lawful entry. And the requirement is that you have to be married to a US citizen or to a green card holder, or you've been married to them in the last 2 years. So you might be divorced, right? You might be that you have been married to them, you're divorced, but the divorce happened within the last 2 years. So if you were married, you are married, or you were married within the last 2 years, and you've lived with your U.S. citizen spouse or your U.S. citizen resident at some time. Okay, you don't need to be living with them right now. But if you have lived with them and during the time that you were married, you suffered from abuse from your spouse, your U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse, then you can qualify to self-petition. And this self-petition waives the unlawful entry. Okay, it's very, very important that if you qualify for this, you don't have to go, you don't have to leave the country, you don't have to ask for a waiver. So it's a really great way to get your green card if you came in without permission. Now, a lot of people ask me, so do I need a police report? Do I need to report my spouse? How do I qualify for this? Like, what is the level? Like, what is the standard for this? So what you need to show is that you suffered cruelty from your spouse. And it says abuse or extreme cruelty, but it's important to understand that abuse or cruelty does not necessarily mean physical abuse. There are many forms of abuse that could happen in a marriage. It could be psychological abuse. It can be financial abuse. It could be, mental abuse, cruelty, threats that your spouse is threatening you with deportation, extremely jealous, really want to know where you're going all the time, really not giving you the freedom that you would want. And the list is really long, and there's a lot of ways to show if this is relevant to you, that you are in an unhealthy relationship. So this is a way, if you qualify for this, if you are in an unhealthy relationship with a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident, this is a way for you to get out of that unhealthy relationship, number one, and also to petition yourself for a green card without leaving the U.S. Remember, this is also true if you're not living anymore with your spouse. Okay, let's say you're still married, but you guys are not living together. As long as you've lived together in the past, you qualify for this. Okay, so it's really a very case-specific benefit. But if this is something that's relevant to you, if this is something that you feel could pertain to you, that you are married to a U.S. citizen or were married to a U.S. citizen in the past, or a green card holder, and you have suffered in your marriage, if there were issues in your marriage, then absolutely contact us. Call us to schedule a consultation and see if you can apply to self-petition yourself. If you self-petition, you can, it gives you a lot of benefits. The law really wants to protect people that are, not in a good place and they've suffered in their marriage to a U.S. citizen or to a green card holder. So absolutely contact us, schedule a consultation. We'll look into your case specifically, and we will see if this applies to you. Thank you for everyone that's joining. I see on TikTok or on Facebook. If you have any questions, feel free to write them as we go. If you have any questions on other topics, I can also answer those. I'm really happily, I'd love to answer any questions if you have. If you're watching a replay of this on Facebook and you have questions about this self-petition option, the VAWA option, feel free to still write the questions or send us a direct message. It's really important for us to inform people about this. I mean, it's really important to me personally. A lot of people don't know that this is even an option, okay? If you are married to a U.S. citizen and, for example, they don't want to petition you for your green card, they're not filing the papers for you. If that is happening to you, then we have a way to help you. Okay, we have a way for you to get your papers without having to rely on your spouse, a U.S. citizen. Okay. So going back to just what the requirements are for this. So the requirements for VAWA, if you just joined, you have to be married to a U.S. citizen or to a lawful permanent resident, or if you have to have been married to them within the last 2 years. Okay. And you have to have suffered in the relationship some kind of cruelty or abuse from your U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse at some time, at some point. Okay, let's talk about the benefits of this. If you qualify for a self-petition, your unlawful entry is waived. You can get your green card here in the US. You can get your work permit here in the US really quickly. For Vawa Self-Petitions, there's a fast-paced work permit option, and that really allows you to get your work permit within 4 to 6 months, which is really fast, if you compare it to other options. And you get your green card in about 2.5 years, self-petitioning yourself completely. Okay, and after 3 years, if you were married to a U.S. citizen, you can apply for your citizenship. Now, this entire process, by the way, is confidential. No one will know about this process, especially your spouse. And this is really important because people come to me and they say, I don't want to harm him. I don't want to hurt him in any way or hurt her in any way. I'm saying all these things about our marriage. Your spouse, U.S. citizen, green card holder spouse, will not be affected by this. In fact, the petitions are sent to a confidential unit in immigration. They are not allowed to disclose your application at all. You don't even need to put in your address. You can put in a safe address, which is the address of your attorney that's filing for you. So you don't want, if you're still living with your spouse, which by the way is optional, if you're still living with a spouse that you're petitioning, about, you can still file. You don't have to be separated. Okay, that's also something that's super relevant because people are like, oh no, I'm still living with my spouse. Can I still do it? Yes, you can still file for a Vawa self-petition, even if you're living with your spouse and even if, and without them knowing, okay? So really, there's a lot of benefits to this, and it was so important for me to talk about it because people are interested, and I think it's important to know. A lot of lawyers don't screen for this. They don't ask these questions. If you come and you ask about your green card and you want to know what the process is, sometimes lawyers don't even ask the questions. Ask if you have any problems in your marriage. Is there any unhealthy behaviors going on? Because if there are, then you can go the route of self-petitioning. So I am here. Thank you for everyone that's joining. I'm here talking about Vawa self-petitions and how it's a way to get your green card in the US without leaving, even if you entered without a visa. So if this is relevant to you, please feel free to reach out to us, schedule a consultation, and we'd love to see if you qualify for it. If anyone that's joining has any questions, I can talk about other things, not just necessarily Vawa self-petitions, if there are any other questions. If not, then I will wrap up for today because today I just wanted to talk about that specific topic, and it was important for me that everyone gets a chance to get educated about it. Okay, guys, so I'm going to wrap up today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, call our office, send us a direct message. You can also follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel to see updates and live shows. And that's it. That's all for me for today. Have a great rest of your day and great week, and I will see you guys all really soon.